Hi guys, this video will be the first part of my series called Geoverse, where I'll be focusing on geolocation concepts on how I'm going to make a MVP food delivery app which would look similar to Zomato, which is a delivery app in India, as well as DoorDash, which is also a delivery app in the USA. Right. So I'm going to do this in React Native by leveraging the libraries which exist in React Native, like React Native Maps, React Native Map Routes, and React Native Google autocomplete, right? Address autocomplete. And then I'm going to use Action Sheet, which is a superb library to handle keyboard inputs as well as the snap points, etc. Right. Once I do that, I'll be moving forward with how we can cache all these routes and the addresses in the backend for blazing fast responses. And those will be more inclined to the backend, where I'll be setting up the backend in Cloudflare workers as well as using Supabase Postgres SQL for doing the what I would say, like geo queries with PostGIS extension, right? So that would be an extremely advanced topic, but that would come later this year or in the next, right? So I would be doing this in the weekends when I am free, right? Okay, so let's get into the video. Right, this video will be focusing on Android routes, where I will be doing something like this in Android. I'll be providing each and every steps on how to create a Google API key, and on how you can have some neat icons like this, like map icons and all these things, and then use it in the map, and then provide a neat route between your delivery agent and your house, right? So if I go back to this route, right? So this week I'll be uploading Android and iOS. So once this video is done, I'll also do the iOS and upload it. Next, I'll do the address autocomplete, which I'll be using Google's API for now. And then we can also use Mapbox API and leverage their superb responses. Like they have improved much in the V6 version that they have now. And then after that, we will be integrating that feature with an action model to get the home address, like the exact pinpoint address, like the flat number or the street number or the landmark, etc. Right? Once that is done, what I will be doing is this concludes the front end series, where I will be just integrating all this in the front end itself. I'll be generating the API keys in the Google Cloud Console, and then I'll be directly using it. But for a production ready application, these things are required, right? We have to get the responses only from the backend. We shouldn't expose the API keys in the front end. But for learning purposes in React Native, if you are a beginner to an intermediate one, these things should be enough. But if you are a advanced or like senior developer like me, and then want to take it to the next step where you can make your own MVP applications, that's like how I'm doing now, this will be useful, right? So let's get into it. Now for the Android routes, right? So I've already made the application here, so I'm just going to show it. You can see the Android side is not running, right? So why? But the iOS side runs. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it run first in the Android and then the iOS. For this to work, what you have to do is you have to first install the library called React Native Maps. Okay, I also made a video on how you can mark locations, so you can also view that, which will be useful for your use case, right? Now, if I go here, this should be the library that you need to install. So this library has a problem where for the old architecture, you have to use this exact version. So if I search this, so you can see you have to use this one. Okay, 1.5.3. So this is a demo application that I use to make my videos. So this will be in JavaScript, but as I like on my other videos, I recommend only TypeScript. So once you install this library, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to install this exact version. You can use npmi and then 1.5.3. So this will work for old architecture apps, right? So this uses React Native 73.8. I have also made a video on React Native 76 where I used new architecture, but there are some issues there. So I'm just going to stick with old arc with 73.8, which works flawlessly for our production applications. Right? This app is also in this app's sister app. Like it is also in the App Store. Okay, so you are seeing some production ready application here. Now, if I go here, once I create this, right? Once I install this one, it will automatically get installed here. And then what you have to do is you have to go to iOS. If you use iOS, you should go there and use pod install. But for now, it's just Android, right? Now comes the most important part, where we are going to use this library called React Native Maps routes. Right? I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to install this here. So I'm going to use npmi React Native maps routes, right? And then this will install that here. So now comes the important part where we do the installation instructions. So in this URL, go to here, right? See installation instructions. So this is how you have to carefully install the libraries. Now you can see the actual map implementation depends on the platform. On Android, one has to use Google Maps. Okay. So to do this, what you have to do, tap on this. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down for this. This is for iOS, right? In this side, what they have said, add an API key to the Android manifest.xml. Okay. You have to do this so that this would work properly. So, but there is an issue here. You have to have a paid cloud, a Google Cloud account. It for Indian users, you can't use RuPay card. You should use Visa or Mastercard. I use a debit card here. If you have a credit card, please add it here, right? And then for Indian developers, I'm going to go and show this. So, wait a minute. Okay, you can see Google has slashed the Maps API prices for 70% on July. So if you don't know this news, you can also see it here. You can also see it offers 90% discount for ONDC projects. So if you're an Indian developer and then if you want to use it, you're now going to get the Google Maps API for 70% discount. So you should always keep tab into the billing section in what I would say, like in the Google billing console, right? So this is a new update for you guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. So you have to create a Google API key. So go here, tap on this create credentials and then click on API key. Okay, so now this particular API key, we can just simply copy it and use it inside what I would say, like in the like I'll go here in this one in the Android manifest.xml. So I'm going to go to Android manifest.xml in the last, like above the application. Okay, these are all the things. So if I scroll down here, I'm going to go here and copy this. So I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so I have to replace this with whatever I have here. Copy it and then paste it here. Now comes the security issue. Okay, this is for even if you are a beginner developer, you should know this. But as a senior or lead developer making an MVP, etc., this is must. Okay, this information is extremely crucial. Now, this API key, anyone can use it for their app, for their web, or whatever it is. Okay, we have to restrict this to only this particular what I would say package, or what I would say is package name or our Android app, and then we should also limit it to this particular application SHA-1 key. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you can see the key is unrestricted. To prevent unauthorized use, we recommend restricting where for which APIs it can be used. Now I'm going to go here and then I'm going to scroll down. Okay, the first one is I'm going to just limit this to Android apps, and then I'm going to add what? This com dot Apollo short. So this is the one, and then the another thing you have to do is you have to add the SHA-1 key. So to get the SHA-1 key, what you have to do is you have to go to Android. Okay, Android. So like app source Android manifest.xml, right? Same way in this one, you have both a debug.keystore release and all these things. I can't show this because like that is a release keystore. But once you create those keystores, right, or release certificate and all these things, what you can do, so this is for what debug.keystore. I'm going to tap on reveal in Finder. But you can also do this in your Windows system. In debug.keystore, reveal it in your folder. Now this is a nice application which I started using 4 years back. So to get this, what you can do is you can go to keychain. Okay, keychain, I think Android. Okay. So, sorry, no, I think keystore. Sorry, Explorer. Okay. So you should get this superb application for both Android and iOS. Okay. So what is this Keystore Explorer? Download this it is available in Windows. I used it in Windows. Now I'm using it in Mac once I bought it. Okay. So if I go to Finder, now in this debug.keystore, I'm going to open this. I can't show release because it's release, right? Like I can literally take it and show it there. And then for the password, same way for debug, it's always Android, and you can also generate a new debug. I recommend generating a new debug.keystore and using it. Okay, because I'll show you, right? This, what is this one, this 585, right? This is the same for almost all the debug.keystores. Okay, so people can literally take it and rip it off and use it in their own application. So for how you create a new release, right? So if you create a new React Native app, the release.keystore is not available. Okay, so you have to generate a new one. Same way, delete this one, generate a new one, and use it there. So this is a debug application or a demo application. I don't need to do that. Yeah, so I'm going to get that key store, and I'm going to go here, go to this, paste it here. Now tap on done. Okay, so for this package name, it is restricted. And then now I'm going to go here, restrict API key, tap on this. Now I'm going to use maps. Okay, for maps, map SDK for Android. Okay, so I'm going to go here, and then I think these guys didn't give. Okay, so has to use Google Maps. So let's tap on this. Get API key. Okay, creating API keys. You can see, you can also see it from here. Creating API keys, console, restricting API keys. Okay, debug.keystore and all these things are there. So same thing they are doing. Select Maps SDK for Android. Okay, so now I'm going to go here, tap on this. Okay, save. So same way, I'll copy this, save, save. Okay, now this is not even running. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here, go to this manifest. As you know, I already did this. Now I'm going to go to terminal, and you have to run npm run Android again. Okay, once you do this, if you do it everything properly, and then the package name is correct, SHA1 is correct, and then no, the billing is enabled. The billing sometimes won't even get enabled. That caused a lot of issues for me before. So use a Visa or Mastercard. Okay, I'll also show you, right? So I'll also show you. Google not accepting Visa, Mastercard. Sorry, RuPay card. Okay, so if you can see, right, your bank, like all these things would be unable to add RuPay, right? Google Cloud. Can see, right? So you should use a Visa or Mastercard if you are from India, and the same way if you are like if you use your own national debit card, right, like RuPay, it won't work. So you use a Visa. Like I learned this after a long time, and then now if I go back to terminal, this one. Let's see. Okay, so this should run, and then once it runs, let's see. Hey, this is a nice boot splash screen. Now, okay, you can see it run. Okay, so that's how you get it running. If I change the API key, it won't work. That's how you have to make it work properly. Now I'm going to go here, and then okay, so that's all those things are done. Now we will jump into the code, right? In this one, like this is a normal, like I also made a video on this, right, before, that I showed how I did the geolocation. So I have finally decided to make a full-fledged series on this. So okay, now let's get into the Android part. Now once the Android is ready, in this one we already have a marker and the polyline, but we will discuss everything one by one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this particular one, and then this is called React Native Maps Routes. Same way, I'm going to go here, copy this. Okay, okay, let's use this origin and destination. Now I'm going to go here, use origin and destination. Take this, and then go here, use it simply like this, and then I think use IntelliSense to get those things there. And then in this side, here something called Google Maps API key is there. So how to generate it? Same way, you can go to the same API key, and then in this, what this guy is saying, to get the Google Maps route API. I'm going to go here, scroll down. So this integration work properly. If I change something here, right, it won't work. I'll also show you that after this. So routes. So I'm going to use what routes or directions. Sorry. Directions API. So that's what this guy is saying. The maps routes. Y route. That is not okay. Like stick. Okay, let's use directions for now, and then tap on OK. Save. Right. So okay, once that is done, I'm going to take the same API key, copy this, go here, and then I'm going to simply paste it here. As I said before, you shouldn't expose the key like this. For the Android side, right, this is inevitable. Like you should use it here, and this will be available for people who try to get your APK and what I would say, like see what your code is, etc. They would see this. So only way to prevent is this: going to the console to completely shut down other SHA-1 keys. One more production update that I give is in this debug.key store. In this section, we use this, right? So this is the key store that we use to upload to Play Store. Okay, so whenever we upload a like new app, either via CI/CD, Fastline, or just simply building it and uploading it. That's what I was doing 4 years back. But now I'm just using some CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Actions and Fastlane. But for now, this would be the key store that you would be attaching that to your own Android application, and then from there you would be uploading it to the Play Store, right? Google, they provide a custom SHA-1 key. Okay, this is important for both Google sign in, right? Like if you use Google sign in, right? Sometimes it won't work. Same way for phone authentication with Firebase SDK, it won't work. Why? Because Google provides their own SHA-1 key. So that particular SHA-1 key should be also added here, or else it will fail. Okay, I learned it in the hard way, but it was just a single bug which I fixed, right? Like, so I am selling it from my experience of having multiple work apps in the Play Stores. So now once you do that, right, once you add that SHA-1 key, it should work for your production users as well. This should be easily understandable for the people who have uploaded their Android apps to the Play Stores. Okay, this will also be useful for Google sign in. Okay, you remember that. Now in the routes part, so once I have done this, so origin and all these things, let's go here, and then let's go to the console, reload this. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, in this one, I think React Native view route, and then I'm going to go here. So let's go here and then use the stroke color, right? Let's use stroke color. This stroke color is used iOS only. Okay, I think PIK. Okay. First, I'm going to remove these things. So polyline, all these things. Let's do that. And then I'm going to go back to here. React Native map routes. Okay, you'll use on error, right? I will go here, use on error, and then console.log error, right? Let's see what is happening. Okay, you can see if you have enabled this API, permission denied. Okay, domain routes API has not been used in this project before. Okay, right. Understood what. You can also learn from this, right? Now tap on save. I think I didn't save this. Okay. Now I'm going to go here, use routes API. I'm going to search this routes API, Google Enterprise API. Okay, enable. You should use enable. Okay, this should also be done, routes API. And then, yeah, so once that is enabled, this should automatically work. So remember to do this step, and this should also be available in this side. Okay, Apollo apps and all these things. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing, reload the page. Okay, permission and be blocked. Okay, client application. Yep. Same way, routes API. And then okay, so let's do this, right? Let's go to keys and credentials. API key. Yeah, I think the this one is wrong. That's what I wrote. Routes. Okay. So you have to enable that in the routes to get this working. So I'm going to remove this. Click on OK. Save. Okay, now you can see in this section Maps SDK for Android routes API. So do this reload. Okay, let's reload and check it out. What is coming now? What? What they're saying, enable, if you have enabled, wait a few minutes for this action trip. Okay, so we have enabled, it should work. Now let's come to the section where we'll be showing this neat, what I said, this neat no, a marker, custom marker here. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this section, and then yeah, not this one, this is for another video. So I'll just search React Native Maps custom marker, right? So I'm going to use a custom marker that I found that I got before. Tap on this. Now in this section, what I'm going to do is okay, I already done it. So I'm going to go here in this marker. I'm going to copy this, use this marker here, and then for the coordinate, I'm going to just use this as destination. So this I don't need. And then for this, I'm going to use image. So source, sorry, I think image is not there, right? So image source required. So I just have this image, like this image, okay, motorcycle image. Now I need to add style, what width of 100 and height of 100. Okay, this is too much, but okay, let's see. So now if I go here, you see some huge motorcycle is there. I'm going to change this to 40. Okay, you see it's already there. This is how like what I would say, like Zomato does, right? You have the delivery agents thing here, and then it should automatically work. Now let's reload and try. Okay, think message request from this client application is blocked. For now, for the testing purposes, I'm just going to go and enable it for everything, but like it's taking some time for the API to propagate. So I'm just going to tap on none, and then don't restrict this key. Click on save, but this is not correct. But for the testing purposes, we are doing it. So I'm going to click on save. And then you can see it may take up to 5 minutes, but this video will become too long. And I'm going back to this. I'm going to tap on reload. Okay. It's still showing that. Okay, just we will move forward with the others one, right? So for this, for the marker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a site called Icon Buddy. Okay, it provides open source one. I'm going to use home. So this would be the home, and then in this section, let's take some random homes here. So this one, okay, this one looks nice. Okay, that doesn't even look a home. Okay, okay, this one. Okay, this hut looks nice. So I'm going to get this one. Use it here. Okay, so I'm going to use it. Wait a minute. So we used it here. Then same way, I'm going to take this marker, and then I'm going to have it here. And for this should be origin, and then home filter. Okay, so this is for demo purpose, and then we'll have this. Go here. Let's go back and see the home will be there. Okay, so from this location to this location, we should get the particular routes. Somewhat this is not okay. Let's debug this directly, right? So they're saying API key from Android is not getting. So you would also get the same issues. So let's tap on this. API key don't restrict key. This thing. So in this library, they're saying pro stock color. Google Maps key, Google Maps for the key. Okay. Let's just also API. Routes API. So I just search this request from this Android. Okay, this one. Scroll down. Okay, they are saying the same thing. Remove is to from SHA-1 case. Okay, I think we have to re-add it again. So now I'm again going to this one, and then okay, let's reload. It's taking 5 minutes, I think. Okay, but they're saying routes API has not been used in or is for disabled. Good. Yep. Save this. Wait. Good. Okay, you can see it finally worked. Okay, because as you can see in the logs, says wait a few minutes, and I waited, and then it has worked because the routes API, it would take 5 minutes for the Google's systems to propagate this. Right now, what I'm going to do is you can also what I would say like restrict this again so that it doesn't work in this particular application. Now there is no error logs here. Now if I go back here, what I can do, let's use stroke color, stroke width, and all these things. So I'm going to go here. Let's try using stroke color. I think red. Yeah, red is working now. Same way, I'm going to go here. Use colors dot primary, which is a custom color for my application. Okay, I think red looks good. So I'm going to use red. Or there's some nice color called hot pink. Okay, this one. And then yeah, you can see this. And then we can go here. I think there's something called a dark theme. Okay, no problem. That is out of scope for this video. So I'll also explain all these things that I have here, which you can also understand, right? So you can see if I tap on this, if I go back, I'm going to go there. If I tap on this, it automatically animates in. So how do I do it, etc. Now in this animate, if I go to this animate, this is not location, so this should be origin and this should be destination. Okay, so that's how you integrate map routes in your own React Native application with React Native maps and React Native map routes, right? And then how you secure your own API like API keys with the help of the things that I have said. I have done the same thing for my all my applications because if someone takes your API key, they can spam a lot of things there, or they can use it in their own application if you have not secured it. This should never be the case, right? Everything should be in like that green color, right? Right. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the code. I'm going to explain all the things that I have done here. So okay, let's keep that. What I have done, I have installed the library React Native Maps and React Native Maps routes. I also use the React Native permissions library. So I have made an in-depth guide on how you can integrate like mocking your location permissions, sorry, locations for your Android emulator as well as your iOS simulator. Same way, how you can ask permissions to your users, right? Like for their location permissions. So this one, right? So you can also check that video. But what I'm doing here is when the user comes to the screen, in the use effect, I'm calling this request permission. So for the component renders for the first time or mounts for the first time, this particular function will be called. And once that is called for iOS, I would ask this, and for the Android, I will do this. Like I'll ask this particular permission. So for this would be like in React Native maps, we have this particular map view where you can also add ref to that so that it animates to that point, initial region and all these things, right? So initial region was used for or I can say like a custom zoom in and zoom out. You can check that other video. So I can also show the map zoom control and all these things. So for the loading enabled, it takes some time for the map to load, the map SDK to load. So you can use that, and then you can see the loading animation which you saw at the start of the video. Then for the map view route, right? So this is not relevant anymore. But for debugging purposes, you can use this. So for the origin, let's take this would be the origin of the user. Like let's take from the what I would say the Google's complex, right? You go to this particular location. This would be your house, right? Now this would have the coordinates of latitude and longitude of this, and then the home should be that one. So from there to that point, with the help of the Google's what I say like API, we get all the routes, And then what happens underneath this particular route, on a particular this component, we will be discussing about this in depth, about how we are going to use caching to put all the API keys in the backend to enter the polylines there. So like what is happening is, if we do command click in MacBook, you can go to this particular library's code, okay, in node modules. And then in this side, you can see in the components, go to this. Okay. So I think he has minified it, but if you see carefully what they are doing in the fetch route, this guy is simply calling this one, getting the API key or whatever we have entered here, API key, right? And then from there, he is asking the origin and the destination, and the travel mode is walk as default, and we can also change the what I would say is the walking mode here. Okay, so the mode we can change to drive, bicycle, two wheeler, and all these things. Okay, so line join and all, like these are some advanced stuff, right? In this one, once he does that, he gets that response, and then if you see here, he gets that, and then like uses some algorithm or some function to convert all those routes into coordinates, right? And then he will use this to create polylines on the map. Okay, so what is a polyline? If I go here and then if I just simply like use this like this, right? This is a polyline with a marker. So what is a polyline? Okay, I think colors. Okay, I'll just recall this, and okay, just use hot pink or red. Okay, if I do that and then if I go back there, you can see this is a polyline. That's the same thing that the guy is using there. But what happens if you have hundreds and thousands of users? This is completely unviable. For a small application, this is okay. For hundreds and thousands of users, and if the same user buys from the same restaurant, right? You should have a different logic there. So for that and all, we'll be using a caching solution where we'll be sending the routes from the backend to the front end, and we'll be drawing the polylines here. If the same route is being called, we'll be using the cached values here. Okay, for that we'll be using Upstash Redis, but that's full stack concept. Yeah, so that is it for this video. And then for the same way for the animate function, right? So if I go here, what is happening? In the initial region, I am having this. Okay, so for first thing is I am attaching a ref to the map view, and when the user taps on either markers, right? If I tap on that marker, so let's say I tap on this marker, you can see it automatically animates into that particular point like this. Okay, so for that, what I'm using a ref, and then I'm animating into that particular region. In the animate function, I'm just passing the coordinate values. Okay, same way, if I go back, let's say I go back, and then in this side, I'm going to do this, right? So you can see it animates into that. This happens in Zomato, which we all use in India, right? Let's say you use the app after some time when you have ordered, right? They automatically zoom in into that position. So this is how you can do it in React Native. Okay, this will be extremely helpful for your MVP, or if you make some MVP applications based on delivery apps. So that's how I did all these sections in this one. So I just introduced this because in the future videos we will be using this extensively, right? So by like calling the like having that coordinates here, and then the nice images and all these things, you can also make a superb like delivery application with your in React Native with Google Maps API, right? So that's it for this video. In the next video, I'll be showcasing how you can do the same thing in iOS, but in Google Maps, right? Like in iOS, we have Apple Maps as well as Google Maps. So this is an Apple Map, right? So, but in Apple Map, you can't just like, simply use all these things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, what is this? I'm going to swipe it up. Okay, so, okay, yeah, in like Apple Maps, you can also use this particular one, but I'm going to show you how you can integrate Google Maps in iOS. Right, that's how like Zomato does. They use Google Maps in an iOS app, where they can do all kinds of like what I would say like computations there, and then show the ETA and all these things. But that would be the video after this. So if you like this video, do let me know in the comments.